when Dak Presscot and America's team travel to Tampa to face Tom Brady and the reigning champs. Dallas will start their season off with 2 straight road games for the first time since 2012 and will be featured on Fox a whopping 10 times this season, just how we like it. Washington won the division last year, but no team has repeated in the NFC East since the Eagles in 2003-2004. And the Cowboys are looking to extend that trend. So, Shannon, what's the Cowboys' record and who wins the NFC East?
Well, Skip, I got good news and I got bad news for you. And for me, Skip, when I was a kid, I always ate the dessert first before I ate the main meal. So I'm going to give you the good news first. I got the Cowboys winning. Yeah, I got the Cowboys winning 14 games. Unfortunately for you, it's over the next 2 seasons. You thought hold on, time out, Skip Bayless.
That was really funny.
Hold on for a second, Skip Bayless.
Be a stand-up comic.
Skip Bayless, hold on for a second. You actually I thought you guys were going to win 14 games, considering you barely won 14 games over the last 2 years. Thank you. Skip, look. All I know you say, you got nickname Red. Good friend of mine, Jason Garrett. Friend of mine, not of yours. 8-8 Jason Garrett. Guess what, Skip? It's hard to be 8-8 now, considering you got an odd game. Yeah. But I can see you guys being 8-1. But you know what, Skip? Y'all not winning the division. Let me start with that first. You, Skip Bayless, your Dallas Cowboys will not win the division. The New York Football Giants are going to win the division. As a matter of fact, I'm going to go one step further. The Washington football team will finish second in the division. I'm going to take it a step further. You guys are going to finish third. Third in the division with a $107 million quarterback. Skip, did you know Dak Presscot made the top 10 Forbes list of highest paid professional athletes?
Well, not just the top 10, he's 4th.
How that gonna make you feel when you don't even make the playoffs?
He's not making LeBron James in income.
Don't you worry.
Way to go.
Don't worry about what LeBron James makes. Stop counting that man's pocket. Skip, look. At some point in time, we got to stop. We got 3 receivers that can get you 1,000 yards. And we got an offensive line. They got 2 guys that's going to probably end up in Canton. Tyron Smith and Zach Martin. And Zeke's going to have a bounce-back season. But at some point in time, you're going to have to put the level of consistency together. And I have yet to see that. In your defense, everybody keep talking about they got Dan Quinn, and he talking about rinse and repeat, but you still got the same guys that you're going to rinse and repeat with. So with all that being said, Skip Bayless, I got you guys going. I want to say 8-1. So that's my first inclination, to go 8-1. But I'll give you 1 win. I'm going to give you 1 more win. I'm going to say you're 9-8, and you don't win the division.
Okay, so what are the Giants then? Are they going to win 11?
10-7.
Okay, then how's my team going to finish 3rd?
Easy. Y'all going to finish a tie with Washington, but Washington going to sweep you bums.
Because of Ryan Fitzmagic?
Oh, Fitzmagic. You know Fitzmagic. Hold on. So you saying Fitzmagic can do a job on Brady, but he ain't got nothing for Dak?
Well, he didn't do a job on Brady. He did it on Belichick.
No, he did.
Okay, my turn. I'll be the first to admit I do not love my team going into this season. But I definitely like my team more than I like the Giants or Washington or the Eagles. My team will win the NFC East. If you want to call it the least, you can. But all 4 teams will be a little bit better than they were last year. Just a little bit better. And my team is the one team that got its quarterback back. Back in the saddle is the Dak attack. Dak Prescott is back. I think he'll be, 90 to 100% healthy this year, coming off a career-threatening, obviously, broken leg and dislocated ankle, requiring 2 surgeries. But by all accounts, he's ahead of schedule. Don't they always say they're ahead of schedule? I don't know.
I've never heard anybody say behind schedule.
I haven't either. But I'm willing to bet that by game number 1, which unfortunately is at Tampa Bay, thank you, NFL, for doing that to us. So we're going to be 0-1 because we're up against the juggernaut that I've already said is going to go 17-0. So that's an L. But I still say, just because we have Dak and nobody else in the division does, they have Daniel Jones and they have Fitzmagic. I guess it's Fitzmagic, or is it Taylor Heineke, or is it, what's his name, Allen? I don't know who they're going to play at quarterback. And I love Jalen Hurts just as a competitor, and I do think the Eagles will be better than you think. But I'll take Dak over Jalen right now. So just sheerly on quarterback alone, I'm going to win the division. And just by default, my defense is going to be better than it was last year because it was all-time horrible last year. It was arguably the worst defense in franchise history last year. For a while, on a record pace, giving up rushing yards, as we always talk about, 308 at home to Cleveland, and then 294 at Baltimore, and you throw all that. There were a couple other 200s at Washington and versus Arizona at home. And it was just pathetic, and it was humiliating, and it was embarrassing. So finally, we got Mike Nolan out of there. He was hired, obviously, just as a favor that it was returned by Mike McCarthy because he once gave McCarthy a job. It was a disaster of a move by Mike McCarthy. It should have made him on the hot seat and almost fireable for hiring Mike Nolan. So here comes Dan Quinn, who simply presided last year in Atlanta over the 5th worst pass defense in the history of the National Football League.
Yes.
Yeah.
Thank you.
So,
and that's what you talk about Mike Nolan, Skip. You said Mike Nolan was historically bad, but you replaced him with somebody that was historically worse.
Yeah, because as they call him, DQ. Well, when he was in Atlanta, DQ stood for Dairy Queen, as in he just gave you a bunch of soft ice cream on defense.
Soft serve,
right?
yes.
Soft ice cream. That's what the Falcons were last year. Okay. So we go into the draft, and we land the guy that you thought was the best defensive player in the draft in Micah Parsons. Well, surely doesn't that make him a little bit better? Look, I don't love Kelvin Joseph. I wanted Patrick Surtain, as you know, but won't he make him a little bit better? And I thought they stole Jabril Cox, and he will make them better. And there's still Jalen Hurts and Wolf Hunter, and I don't know what to expect from either one of them, but at least you still have them there. They drafted that tall corner, 6'4" Nashawn Wright out of Oregon State, and he already says he's a more athletic, agile Richard Sherman. That's what he says. Well, I would prefer that they actually go sign right here, right now, the real Richard Sherman, because they need him. They need him as a tutor on defense, as a big brother on defense, and right away, I think they need him to start at cornerback, and especially going down to Tampa Bay on that opening Thursday night under the gun. I would rather have Richard Sherman in the starting lineup than Nashawn Wright or whoever, even Kelvin Joseph for that matter, because they will just get schooled by Tom Brady. So I hope they go get Richard Sherman, who obviously played for Dan Quinn once upon a time in Seattle. But they did bring in from Atlanta with Dan Quinn, Keanu Neal, for what it's worth. I think he's a little better. And Kazee.
A little better at what?
Just playing linebacker. He'll graduate from safety to linebacker because he's had an Achilles tear and an ACL tear. I think he'll give him a little thump at linebacker that they have not had. Well, I do. And
Skip, have you really looked at the Cowboys schedule?
Yeah.
You do realize y'all starting the season 0-2, right?
No, they're going to beat the Chargers at L.A. out here at SoFi. They are. That's going to be the turnaround game. That's actually, to me, a make-or-break game, a north-south game. You got to get back up on that horse and ride it out here to the Chargers after that Thursday night game. You get 10 days to prep for the Chargers. I think they can beat the Chargers and get back on a little bit of a roll.
Hello. And you do know y'all got Kansas City. Skip. Ooh, let me see. Losing at the Giants, y'all losing. At Washington football team, lost. At New Orleans, lost. At Kansas City, lost. Denver gonna beat y'all at home.
No.
At Minnesota, lost. At New England, lost. At Chargers, lost. At Tampa. Skip, that's 8 losses right there.
Okay. I agreed with everything you said except Denver at home. We can beat Denver at Jerry World. And I'm here to tell you, I think my team can sweep at Jerry World. I think they can go 8-0 at home. 8-0. I got them going 4-2 in the division with 3 home wins and 1 win away, which is the last game of the season at Philly. I believe they could win that game, which it will be required to win the division. So they go 4-2 in the division. They go 6-5 out of the division. They go 8-0 at home, 2-7 on the road. I agreed with most of your road losses.
Okay.
And that adds up to 10-7. And the rest of the division, I've got your Giants and Washington going 9-8. Not bad. And I got Philly being a little bit of surprise at 8-9 with Jalen Hurts. So it'll be a tight fit. And yet I think Dallas, just by virtue of Dak Prescott at home, will be good enough to go 10-7 and win the NFC, if you want to call it least.
Skip, you and I both thinking along the same